Hello everyone, dear audience of Linda. Today, our story takes a heartbreaking and haunting turn. Quang was left in shock when he heard the devastating news Linda had once carried his child. But fate, so cruel and merciless, never allowed that miracle to come true. The baby is gone. That moment cut into Quang's heart like a knife. All the hopes, all the dreams of a small family together suddenly shattered. But out of this painful loss, a bigger question now arises for both of them. Is their love strong enough to overcome this tragedy? Can they still hold on to each other and move forward through the storm? Or will everything become nothing more than ashes of the past, buried forever in tears? Stay tuned to find out, because behind this heartbreaking truth, there are still secrets yet to be revealed. As the sun set, the whole space was bathed in a soft golden glow. In the quiet garden, Quang and Linda sat side by side after so many days apart. They had both walked through pain and losses that once seemed impossible to survive. But now, with their hands touching and their breaths falling in sync, everything else seemed to fade away, leaving only the peace they had longed for. On Quang's face, happiness mixed with exhaustion was clear. His disappearance had left more than scars on his body. It had carved deep wounds in his soul. He remembered the moments of betrayal, being hurt by someone he once trusted and abandoned in a cold, desolate place. If it hadn't been for the timely help of a stranger, he might never have made it back. His sprained ankle had healed, but the dark memory still haunted him. Linda listened, her eyes full of sorrow. In that moment, she realized his pain was also her own. Her soul resonated with his because she too had endured the cruel blows of fate. The days of being trapped deep in the forest by her abusive ex-husband were still an unshakable nightmare. In that desperate escape, she had lost the most precious thing of all, the child she was carrying, Quang's child. When the truth came out, Quang's heart shattered. The weight of losing his child shook his shoulders. Tears streamed down as he buried his face into Linda's shoulder, letting the grief drown him. Linda held him tightly, their tears blending together. No words could ease the pain, only their embrace, as if they were clinging to the last fragile thread of hope amid the ruins. Time passed quietly. Slowly, the heavy air lifted as they calmed. Their breathing steadied. The tears dried on their cheeks. Sitting close, their hearts beat in unison, finding comfort in each other's gaze. Those eyes carried love, scarred by the past, but also holding a fire that refused to die out. Quang gently squeezed Linda's hand, a silent promise. Linda leaned her head on his shoulder, letting the warmth flow through her. In that moment, no words were needed. They just listened to the beating of their hearts, the whisper of the wind outside, the late birds calling to each other. All of it became the background music to a symphony of love and loss. The pain of the child they would never have would always remain a scar. But from that tragedy, they learned to value the present. Quang silently vowed never to let Linda suffer alone again. Linda also knew that after everything, what mattered wasn't what the past had taken, but what they still had. And what she still had was Quang, the man her heart had never stopped loving. Night fell, darkness covering everything outside. Yet inside the small room, a candle still flickered. Its flame lit up their faces, still wet with tears, but now full of determination. They had chosen to hold on to each other, to weather the storms, and to walk into the future together. Love. even when scarred, was still the light that led the way. And in that moment, Quang and Linda understood they weren't just continuing a love story, they were beginning a new journey. A journey of healing, rebuilding, and trust, no matter how many trials lay ahead. As the afternoon faded, golden sunlight stretched across the garden rows. The fresh air carried the earthy scent of damp soil, bringing a simple, familiar feeling. Linda stepped into the garden with a small hoe in her hand, a thin scarf tied across her forehead. Her eyes shone with both excitement and a hint of nervousness, like this wasn't just about digging up sweet potatoes, but about sharing a special moment with Quang. Quang followed behind holding a bamboo basket. He quietly watched Linda's every move, torn between wanting to help and simply enjoying the sight of her working. She looked different now, not the fragile woman weighed down by hardship, but strong, patient, and full of life. Linda pushed the hoe into the ground, lifting firm, steady strokes. The damp soil loosened, revealing plump sweet potatoes with skins still covered in mud. She bent down, carefully picking each one, brushing the dirt off, and placing it gently into the basket. Sweat dotted her forehead, but her smile remained bright. Quang quickly handed her a cloth and softly wiped the sweat away. Linda looked up, her eyes sparkling in the sunset light, making his heart beat faster. They both smiled. No words were needed. Their eyes said it all. The sound of the hoe striking the earth soil, breaking apart, and evening birds calling blended into a rustic melody. The basket filled with more and more sweet potatoes. Every so often, Linda let out a playful cheer when she found a big one, her eyes shining like a child who had just discovered treasure. Quang couldn't take his eyes off her. For him, this moment was worth more than all the potatoes they dug up. It was the picture of a woman genuine and devoted to family, the kind of woman he wanted to spend his life with. When the basket grew heavy, Linda sat down by the garden row to catch her breath. Quang quickly picked it up for her, and together they carried the harvest to the well. Linda scooped water, her fair hands moving quickly as she washed each potato. The cool water made her giggle, splashing at times onto Quang, who laughed along with her. Their laughter mixed with the trickling water, lighting up the space around the well. Once washed, Linda neatly arranged the potatoes in a bamboo tray. Together, they carried them back to the small kitchen. They started a fire with dry straw, the flames crackling smoke, curling gently through the warm air. Linda set the pot of sweet potatoes over the fire while Quang tended the flames. The firelight flickered across their faces, making their eyes shine even brighter. The smell of sweet potatoes began to spread, warm, comforting, and sweet, promising a simple but heartfelt meal waiting ahead. The lid of the pot lifted slightly, and right away, a wave of steam rushed out, wrapping the room in warmth. The sweet, earthy smell of potatoes filled the air, making the small kitchen feel even cozier. Linda gently picked up a steaming hot potato with a pair of bamboo chopsticks. The dark brown skin was puffed and cracked, revealing the golden flesh inside. Wisps of steam curled upward, tinting her cheeks pink in the firelight. She blew on it softly, then smiled her gentle eyes, turning toward Quang. With her small hand, she offered the potato to him, a simple gesture of care. Quang took at his fingers, brushing hers. The heat from the potato didn't burn him as much as the quick, nervous thump of his heart. Instead of eating it right away, he slowly broke it in half and handed one piece back to Linda. That small, quiet act felt warmer to her than any sweet words could. Her heart trembled, and a wave of tenderness spread through her. The two sat close by the fire. Flames crackled their orange glow, dancing across the wooden walls, casting their shadows into one. Every bite of potato carried more than the rustic sweetness. It carried the taste of happiness, of sharing something real. Linda chewed slowly, savoring the soft, fluffy texture as it melted in her mouth. Quang nodded with satisfaction, his eyes glowing with quiet joy. Outside, a breeze stirred the bamboo grove, the rustle of leaves like whispers of blessings. From afar, crickets and night insects filled the air with their steady chorus, adding to the rare peace of the evening. Inside the little kitchen, the two who had survived so many storms were finally able to enjoy a simple but deeply warm night together. As the pot of potatoes emptied the space between them seemed to close even more. Linda leaned gently against Quang's shoulder, her cheeks flushed from the heat of the fire and the pounding of her own heart. Quang felt the softness of her hair resting on him. Wrapping his arm around her, he held her tightly, as if afraid the moment might slip away forever. Time seemed to stop. They didn't need words. Their eyes spoke for them, their quiet smiles like a soft melody. Their breaths mixed, their heartbeats aligned, echoing together in the stillness. The fire kept glowing, giving off its steady warmth, and so did their love, not blazing wildly, but steady, lasting, rooted deep like a flame that could warm them for a lifetime. In their hearts, trust and hope for a shared future burned brighter. This quiet moment would become a treasured memory, strong enough to carry them through whatever storms lay ahead.